6 months. It has been 6 months since I've made any single type of personal video, and I've tried multiple times. I think I've tried to make 5 vlogs over the past 6 months to a year or whatever, and I've recorded some of each of them, and I never actually ended up making them. This video is a look into my life over the past year, over 2021. To sum this year up, I would just say it's all been about growth. It's been about trying new things, getting us out of my comfort zone, and doing my best to grow into the human being that I would like to be in the future. There's been so much along the journey, and I just want to dive into a little bit of how much I've actually changed over the past year. To start off 2021, I didn't have a lot going on. My work is very seasonal. I have an action sports video production company, and it's really only during summer. So in winter, January, February, March, I didn't have a lot going on, but I knew that I wasn't nowhere near where I wanted to be. So in January, I think I spent most of the month here at home in Pennsylvania, just working on my body, getting where I wanted to be, and basically working through the mental process, similar to what I'm doing right now in life, of basically where do I want to be in 6 months? Where do I want to be in a year? And what do I have to do to get there? So then February rolls around, and I went to Florida for like 2-3 weeks, and all I was doing was filming. I had a bunch of ideas and inspiration for what I wanted to be creating down the road, and I really wanted to get into more in-depth storytelling and documentary filmmaking and doing passion projects, making projects that I was actually proud of, because at the time I was just doing surface level, basically recap videos. So I went on this Florida trip. I spent, I think, $2,000 on my own money, and I just got out of my comfort zone and just filmed a bunch and just dove deep into the creative process. March came around and I threw myself right into the thick of it. I started making these videos, not even just for fun anymore, not just for an experiment anymore, but I started making these videos for clients, and I started making them for my own action sports brand. And then this kicked off the busiest, most intense season I've ever had in my entire life. This year, I mainly covered 2 different series, ATV motocross and trophy truck racing, and I traveled all over the country, sometimes 2 different states in the same weekend, to document for a bunch of different athletes and teams, and it was wild. And I just want to show a little bit of the insane content, the awesome content that I captured this year now.
This is championship off-road. I mean, this is the top dog. This is where, as they say, the East Coast, West Coast come together. Pro light class, we've been having 15 plus drivers. You ain't gonna get anything like it except for here.
Come on, dig. That's all right, you're clear.
It's a different level you gotta be at to race.
I am so happy with how much further my work has come in the past year, and that comes largely from just a dedication to getting better consistently. And it's funny because even like now, I have times in my life where I feel like I'm not doing much. I don't have much going on. I don't have 10, 20, 30 projects going on a weekly basis. So like I kind of feel like my life slows down a lot. And then when I look back at work that I was doing a year ago, and I look back at where I was 2 years ago in 2019, 2020, that's what really puts my brain, what really puts my life into perspective, really puts my progress into perspective. I've come so far, and I really have to, stop, take a moment, and look back to actually see that progress. So I went through this entire year, and it was insanely busy, and I was driving myself crazy sometimes, and there was absolutely no way I was going to be able to record vlogs just like this one. There was no way I could have made any personal videos, because every single weekend for I think 4 or 5, maybe even 6 months, I was traveling somewhere in the country. I was recording something, and then during the week I was post-producing. It got to the point where I could not do it by myself. I ended up hiring multiple people to help me film, help me shoot, and then I ended up hiring a remote video editor who helped me tremendously in all of my projects, and that is just going to extend into 2022, where I know I'm gonna have even more on my plate, while also using all the resources that I have available to me to give myself more time, basically a little bit more of a work-life balance, and maybe even bringing on some people to help me with more consistent work. And there's one major thing that happened towards the end of this year that I have not made any single videos about. I've been not putting it off, but I haven't taken the time to express it and put it out into the world yet. I've been pretty quiet about it recently. But about 3 months ago, right after race season, literally a week and a half after my last event this year, which was just enough time to finish the post-production on all of the work that I had from the year and basically go into surgery without a worry in my mind. I went in for my ostomy reversal surgery, and I went in on super high spirits. At this point, I was as high on life as I could have possibly been. I mean, I was coming off the busiest, most successful, just most insane work season of my entire life, and my health was just doing outstanding. And that's why I had this opportunity to go in and get this ostomy reversal surgery. I ended up getting out in 3 days. I think I started running about 2 weeks after the surgery. A month after my surgery, I started weightlifting. Right now, I'm wrapping up a 3-month strength training program, which basically gave my body the time away from, intense workouts, but also still managed to build my strength up back to stronger than ever. So the end of this year has been slow because I have basically just been giving my body everything that it needs. I'm not waking up at 4:30 a.m. right now. I'm not doing insane workouts every single day. I've been being easier on myself. This surgery, going into that surgery, it ended up being a lot harder physically and mentally than I was expecting. My mind never seemed to remember pain, so when I was going into that surgery, I just thought it was going to be an easy 3 days, and it was far from that. There was a lot more pain than I was expecting, and my stomach today is still not 100% healed. I still have sutures that have yet to dissolve. It's definitely a slower process getting back to 100% than I was expecting, that I was hoping for, but I've just been being super easy on myself and just looking forward towards 2022. And on top of, taking it easy, I've been putting a lot of time, a lot of energy into my personal development. I went on a 2-week Florida trip, which included a personal development event, which included a few days in Miami just for fun, and included me getting out of my comfort zone, really getting out of my comfort zone and filming the World Championship boat race and, just getting into that new market. And then I went to Puerto Rico for 10 days, stayed with some friends, and attended a super in-depth personal development course. Now I'm back home, it's the holidays, and 2022 is going to be insane. Before I sign off, I just want to say one thing. I've been in a mental funk the past week because my body's to the point where I basically can throw whatever at it that I want. I want to get back into CrossFit. I want to continue doing similar programming that I'm doing now. I want to run a marathon. I want to do an Ironman. I want to start mountain biking again. But at the same time, I also want to put on more muscle and put on more weight. I am at the strongest point I've ever been physically right now. I'm just under, I think, 160 pounds. I know there's so much more in the tank, and I'm mentally fighting over where I want to go. It's funny because the word compassion has recently just started showing up in my life. Having compassion for myself and just being easier on myself and understanding that there's so much time. There's one quote that really has me thinking, and it's when I was 20, I wanted to be a millionaire. And once I was a millionaire, I just wanted to be 20. I put that into perspective pretty often right now because I'm like, look, I know I'm going to be at a place in the future of abundance. I'll say that. I don't know how to put it because I'm not speaking from my ego, but I just understand that I know how lucky I am. I understand how amazing my life is just because I'm a 22-year-old healthy kid. And there's so much opportunity just from that. And I shouldn't be putting pressure on myself on a daily basis to make sure I'm just working it away, There's just so much. There's so much out there in the world. And I'm just so fucking excited to get it.